Larry Bird knows something about winning. As a Celtic, Bird played in 164 NBA playoff games. His teams hung 3 championship banners from the rafters of Boston Garden. Now, as a rookie coach, Bird has led his veteran Indiana Pacers to the best season in their NBA history. After last year, Mike Fratello realized it was time to revamp the Cavaliers. Their slow-paced offense had left them short of the playoffs. Now new faces have brought a new attitude. With 5 new starters and 4 rookies running the floor, things have become fun again in Cleveland. The Cavs ended the regular season in strong fashion, and Fratello had reason to believe his team had a shot at a first-round upset. But in Game 1 on Thursday, it was Indiana setting the pace. They dominated the younger Cavs from the opening tip, winning by 29. That first game left Mike Fratello with plenty of questions. Now, barely more than 36 hours later, we'll see if he and the Cavs have come up with any answers. The Cavs and the Pacers. Game 2 next.
This is the NBA on NBC. The 1998 NBA playoffs. Today, it's the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Indiana Pacers.
With the Pacers up 1-0 in the series, Pacer fans showing solidarity with their team. The Shears were out at Market Square. They give you a free clip job if you want to make yourself look like the Pacers, all of whom have shaved their heads for the playoffs. Indiana back in postseason play after a year's absence under the guidance of strong Coach of the Year candidate Larry Bird. Hi again, everybody, with Doug Collins and Isaiah. Brevin Knight, the rookie out of Stanford, did not have a good night in Game 1. Early foul trouble. Wesley Person, who led the league in three-pointers made, was 0 for 2 and didn't score a single point. Ilgauskas played extremely well, the Lithuanian center. Kemp and Henderson at the forwards. Henderson, one of 3 rookies, started by the Cavaliers and Mike Fratello. Larry Bird's lineup for the Pacers. Jackson had 10 assists and 9 points in Game 1. Reggie Miller, 19 points. 11 of them came in the first quarter, after which the game was decided. Chris Mullin was the game's high man with 20 points. He shot 8 of 9 from the floor and made 4 of 5 threes in the opener. Larry Bird, a Coach of the Year candidate after his team wins 58, and we go to Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Bob. You know, a lot has been said about Ben Baker joining Seattle's team. Not enough said about Sean Kemp coming to the Cavaliers. Mike Fratello told me he's the main reason that they've won 47 games. Now, I talked to Sean. He said what he tries to do with this young team is lead by example, and hopefully his example today will rub off a little better than it did on Thursday night. One other little bit of commentary on this show of solidarity for the Indiana Pacers. After looking at all these bald heads, Bob, it is my opinion that a bald head is not for everybody.
A point very well taken, Ahmad. Jack Neese, Bob Delaney, and Mike Callahan are the officials today. The Cavs control the tip, and Brevin Knight brings it to the front court. Ilgauskas hits, and he's fouled.
The first thing they tried to do was get Wesley Person involved. They ran him off the screen. They jumped out on the screen, and he punched it into Ilgauskas on the roll.
You keep an eye on Ilgauskas now, Bob. During the season, he scores 37% of his points in the first quarter. He had 9 of his 16 in Game 1. Already off to a good start here with the three-point play.
He closed the regular season on a tear in the last 4 games. He averaged 26 points. Then he had 16 with 10 rebounds in the Game 1 loss. And an immediate whistle as the Pacers bring the ball into the front court for the first time. Cedric Henderson picks up a foul, the rookie out of Memphis.
Now, Cedric Henderson was a second-round pick for the Cavs. They found gold in the second round. He started for him in a playoff situation here today, guarded Chris Mullin.
And another Cavalier foul.
You must be very careful playing the Pacers. You do not want to get them into the penalty too quickly. 2 quick fouls here in less than 30 seconds. They are a terrific free throw shooting team, especially Reggie Miller.
That one was on Ilgauskas. Here's Smits. Jackson to the foul line, to the lane, to the hoop, but he misses. Brevin Knight quickly back. Ilgauskas has it. And it's Ilgauskas 5 and the Pacers nothing.
I love the way Ilgauskas runs the court. You know, Doug, he was the 20th pick in the draft. A lot of people were afraid of him because of the foot injury that he had. His agent convinced Cleveland to take him. Wayne Embry took a chance on him, and he's another guy that's paid off for him.
Smits over Ilgauskas, but not by much. Rick is 7-4. Zarunas 7-3.
It'll be interesting to watch Smits to see how he moved with his feet today. He has foot problems, and they made a special shoe for him.
The Cavaliers with Person hitting his first basket of the night or afternoon and his first basket of the series, leading 7-2. He was blanked on Thursday. Reggie Miller, quick release. It's there.
Just the energy level of Cleveland today is altogether different. I thought they came into game one thinking they were prepared, and they were from a strategical standpoint, but they weren't mentally ready to take the hit they got from the Pacers.
Brevin Knight at 5'10", guarded by the 6'3" Mark Jackson. Knight into the lane. Henderson, just before the shot clock sounds, he hits it.
Again, though, Brevin Knight, Isaiah, getting into the lane, that penetration brings people to you. He's got Ilgauskas a basket, and there's Cedric Henderson. He's also got Person, so he's delivering here in this first period.
Smits the fadeaway, short, and at 5'10", Knight clutches the rebound. All the way to the hoop, knocked away from him. Henderson recovers. Now Knight from the baseline. The Cavaliers are 5 of 5 from the floor so far after a horrid shooting night in game one.
When you look at Brevin Knight, he was a kid who was only recruited by 2 colleges, Stanford and Manhattan College. He was crushed that he wasn't able to go to Seton Hall because he was raised in New Jersey.
Before things get out of hand, Larry Bird asked for time with his team trailing 11-4.
See, what Brevin Knight is really good at is penetrating and dishing, but he can also hit the spot-up shot.
They missed what he brings statistically. I thought their team was deflated at the 6-minute mark when he picked up his second foul. I watched him walk off the floor, and the energy level of that whole Cavalier team just sunk when he got into foul trouble.
You know, Mike Fratello is a very tough competitor. You know, his dad was an amateur boxer, one of the Golden Glove champs, and Fratello was a high school linebacker.
After the 22nd timeout, Pacer ball. Jackson with that behind-the-back feed that is his signature, sets up Dale Davis.
But Indiana will come out today and thoroughly try to establish their will on this Cavalier team. They played 4 great quarters the other night, and they want to come out and continue to let the Cavaliers know that this will just be a rerun of the other night.
Person with Reggie on him. Ilgauskas the fadeaway. Well, he says Arvydas Sabonis is his idol. Ilgauskas looks to be the next great player out of Lithuania.
When you look at the European centers, all of them have great footwork and great fundamentals. They spend a lot of time practicing that, whereas in the States, all the big guys spend a lot of time working on their inside play and their dunk shot.
That one hung like a putt, deciding whether it would stay in or out of the cup, and finally fell through for a Smits basket. Kemp traveled.
This is where Shawn Kemp has to be very careful. He has a tendency to be turnover prone. He turned the ball over 4 times in game one, and he's 7th in the league in turnovers from the inside position. That's critical for his team today to not turn the ball over.
Pacers trail by 5. Smits from Jackson. The rebound to Henderson. The Cavs start 3 rookies. Knight, Ilgauskas, Henderson, and a 4th, Derek Anderson, plays a lot. The Pacers have only 1 rookie on their playoff roster, the little-used Mark Pope, and Kemp with the reverse.
See, what they're trying to do is they're trying to isolate Kemp on the perimeter to use his foot speed against Dale Davis, put it on the floor and drive around him. Dale Davis guards him well in the post, but has trouble defending him on the perimeter.
Mullen moves inside the arc, and it spins out. Ilgauskas protects the rebound. Henderson. And Henderson finally is open for the shot. The Cavaliers were very patient and moved the ball well.
Bob, absolutely. Great ball movement. They're passing and cutting, not holding the basketball. Terrific first quarter start here by Cleveland today.
They're 8 of 9 from the floor at the outset. The Pacers continue to look for Smits. Jackson backing Knight down, but it's shoved back in his face by Kemp. Brevin Knight. Henderson. Person for 3. What a difference less than 48 hours makes. It's 20-8 Cleveland. Larry Bird says, let's put a stop to this right now. Cleveland has made 9 of its first 10 the new names dotting this Cavalier roster. Ilgauskas out of Lithuania. Derek Anderson from Kentucky. Cedric Henderson from Memphis. And Brevin Knight, who actually was taken behind Anderson in the first round, out of Stanford. Knight was the 16th pick, Anderson the 13th. They have missed only 1 shot through the first 5.5 minutes of this game. Pacers down by 12. Miller looking to cut into it, and he does with the 3. Person led the league in three-pointers made, and Reggie Miller was second this year. Miller is the NBA's all-time leader. Kemp with Ilgauskas screening for him. It's short. Ilgauskas wrests it away from 3 Pacers and scores.
How about those hands? Just took the ball away from 2 Indiana Pacers. The intensity level, the toughness of Cleveland today, way up from Thursday night.
You know, it's a total opposite of where we were 6 minutes to go in the game the other night and where we are tonight. Cleveland has totally come out and reversed the situation. Now watch Ilgauskas fight for a position. He gets his hands on it, and as Doug talked about, he has very soft hands, and he has the presence of mind to put it right on the floor and get the basket.
Smits puts up a brick, and back come the Cavs. They've doubled the Pacers up at 22-11. Any thought of a hangover for Cleveland quickly dismissed here. Kemp loses it. Smits from Jackson. Tipped home by Davis.
You know, we talked to Reggie Miller yesterday, and he was concerned about if Indiana could come out and match the type of intensity that he knew Cleveland would come out with. Can they match the intensity and weather this storm of barrage that Cleveland is throwing at them right now and just get to the second quarter?
Person misses on the quick release, but Kemp has it knocked away. Ilgauskas with the tip, and he has 11.
They're fighting for every single basket. They're not conceding anything. This is a do-or-die game for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Mullen rattles in and out. Kemp against Davis, into the lane. A second try. The ball was knocked back and a jump ball is called.
Shawn Kemp has a very difficult time playing against this Pacer team. His numbers were not good in the regular season because he goes into 3 big people on dribble penetration. You see him go at Dale Davis, but there is Rick Smits, Dale Davis, Mullen, all contesting his shot. And Isaiah, after about 9 years in the league, he doesn't have that same kind of explosiveness to jump over people as he did early. And here is Ilgauskas, again with that tip, and then the soft hands and the follow-up. Second shot opportunities. Both these teams very poor offensive rebounds during the regular season.
Jackson trapped, gets rid of it to Antonio Davis, who misses inside. Antonio has just come on the floor to replace Smits. Knight long with the 20-footer, and Mullen clutches it.
You know, with Antonio Davis being in the game, this was the one substitution that Fratello really feared because they have no answer for him. He guards Ilgauskas well, and he's a bear on the boards.
Dale Davis, jumper in the lane. Got the roll.
One of the things I've seen with this Indiana team this year is both the Davis boys, Antonio and Dale, much more aggressive offensively, looking to be primary offensive players rather than just offensive rebounders. Larry Bird has given them a great dose of confidence.
Henderson from Person. Misses long. Mullen taps it to Jackson, who flings it ahead to Antonio Davis. The trailer is Miller. Couldn't finish it. Person for three. Got it.
Having Brevin Knight on the floor, Isaiah, he runs the break and he keeps the ball in the middle of the floor. Players run, Person spots up at three. He knows where everybody is on the floor.
Antonio Davis with the left hand, too heavy, and Kemp has it. 7 minutes into this quarter, the Cavaliers had already scored more points than they got in any period in game one.
Wesley's older brother, Chuck Person, played with Reggie Miller, and Wesley Person would come to practice every day, and he idolized Reggie Miller, and he told me yesterday he looked forward to playing against him in the playoff setting today.
Antonio Davis has the rebound off Kemp's miss. Jackson with the hook over Knight. He's 6'3" to Knight's 5'10". If he can post him, not much Brevin can do about it.
Well, that's where he needs help, Bob, right there. That's where he got in foul trouble in game one. Twice on post-ups, ran him out of the game. I think Larry Bird, you'll see him go to more of that before this game is over.
Timeout Cleveland. You're watching
A variety of ways, the give and go in the three-point play. The great hands in the layup from Brevin Knight. The offensive rebound where he just takes it away from three Indiana Pacers. And then once again, the second effort on the boards, the soft hands in the tip in. 11 quick points here to give his team the 27-17 lead.
Here's where he ranked in a variety of categories during the season. He missed 2 full years with foot injuries. So in that sense, he and Smits can sympathize with each other. Technically, Ilgauskas is a rookie, but he's much more seasoned than the average first-year NBA player. Knight around Jackson. Quick acceleration into the lane. Ilgauskas, no basket, travel.
See, this is where Ilgauskas, as he continues to grow and mature in this league, he'll get much stronger and he'll be able to take those bumps. As you mentioned, Bob, he's a rookie right now, so he's not used to the contact.
The NBA game is much more physical than the European style of basketball, as most folks know. Antonio Davis lost it, but as he was stripped of the ball, a foul is called on Kemp. Now, Kemp is foul prone. He led the NBA with 15 disqualifications this year. That was his second.
That was a very tough call, too. It looked like Antonio Davis got that ball caught on his hip, and that Kemp just knocked that ball away. That's a very, very tough foul because it puts Shawn Kemp in foul trouble. When he goes over on the bench now, we have to watch what this does to his team.
Because he goes out and he takes a wealth of experience with him. Now they bring in Derek Anderson, who's a rookie also, and this is where the Pacers can really make their move.
Antonio Davis makes his move and cuts the Cav lead to 8. Vitaly Potapenko from Ukraine, who wears number 52, comes in.
Cleveland must finish this quarter strong now, Bob. Real key here this last 50-something seconds. They played so well.
Stumbles and loses it. The Pacers with numbers. Jackson to Antonio Davis. And somehow they messed that up. They retrieve it, though, and Miller misses the three. Mullen almost had the tip, but no luck on the roll.
Bob, you can see early in this game, a little bit different substitution pattern. In game one, Bob Sura came in for Brevin Knight. Today, you see Derek Anderson being matched up against Mark Jackson to try to take away his post-up. We'll see if that adjustment pays dividends for Cleveland today.
And Derek Anderson is another player that Wayne Embry took a chance on. He had a knee injury coming out of Kentucky. Would have been a lottery pick, but Wayne took him later in the first round. Wayne has had a lot of experience. He drafted Sidney Moncrief with a knee injury.
3 on the 24. Ilgauskas beats the buzzer. He has 13 first quarter points. Down by 10, the Pacers look for the last shot. It belongs to Derek McKee, but the first quarter belonged to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who lead it by 10.
The three-point turnaround in game 1, 0 for 5. We talked about Wesley Person needing to play well. They're 2 for 2. Great start for Cleveland here. Confidence high. Indiana has to talk it over.
Zydrunas Ilgauskas with a huge first quarter. He had a good game 1, although most of his teammates did not. 16 points, 10 rebounds. In the first 12 minutes, he scores 13 and pulls in 5 boards.
The game always goes to the aggressor. In game 1, Indiana was the aggressor. They were 8 for 11 from the free throw line. Today, and that is in the first quarter, today they did not shoot a single free throw. Cleveland much more aggressive, matching the intensity, keeping them off the free throw line has been real critical in their little start here today.
Pacer ball as we begin the second period. This is Travis Best, who's in at the point guard spot for Mark Jackson. And some contact along the baseline away from the ball, and Indiana foul.
Illegal screen out of bounds, so they've lost possession. You cannot screen out of bounds. And let's watch here. The second screener, Antonio Davis' foot is out of bounds. That's a violation, and Cleveland will take the ball.
And for Antonio Davis, personal number 1. Potapenko gets it back from Anderson and hits an 18-footer. The Cavaliers match their biggest lead at 12. Jalen Rose. He's been terrific off the bench for Larry Bird. Small forward in both guard spots at various times this year. Here is Rose with the jumper.
Now, Jalen is a big-time scorer. He can get on the roll and get into a rhythm. He's very versatile. He can play the point guard, can play the shooting guard. He can also play the small forward. Larry Bird likes his toughness and his competitiveness.
Anderson penetrating, had a little trouble, but stuck with it and took it all the way to the hole. Again, the Cavs by a dozen. They lost game 1 by 29. McKee and Potapenko couldn't hold on to it. Still Pacer ball.
You know, as a player, when you win game 1, the toughest thing to guard against is human nature. You let down. Indiana's had a letdown, and the Cavaliers have picked it up. Can they match their intensity? Can they get back into this game?
Miller missed. Antonio Davis gave them a fresh 24. McKee surrounded. Out of bounds off Indianapolis.
See, everything is a tough fight. They're doing everything with a lot of energy and intensity. There's no smoothness to their offense. There's no passing. There's no crispness.
The Pacers have not renamed their franchise. We are, however, in Indianapolis. The Indiana Pacers and the Cleveland Cavaliers. One name for a state, the other for a city. Go figure. Ilgauskas will come to the line. And we will step aside for a commercial, allowing me to straighten out my thoughts.
Ilgauskas slips right to the basket. No weak side help. That is 3 times in this game early that Ilgauskas has slid off the screen by Person and gotten to the basket.
You know, Zeke, he may not be Arvydas Sabonis, who's been so outstanding for Portland, quite yet, but Ilgauskas has a very refined game, and it includes 76% from the free throw line. You can go online to msnbcsports.com, complete NBA playoff coverage. Bill Walton analyzing how Michael Jordan ranks with other NBA greats in 5 key categories. And you can vote for the team you think will win the title at msnbcsports.com.
absolutely right, Bob. His game is so complete. And Ahmad told us earlier that the reason why he has such great footwork is because he grew up playing soccer. A lot of the European centers grow up playing soccer. And you think of Elijah Wan, you think of Sabonis, you think of Ilgauskas. They have exceptional footwork in the low post.
This is the game's biggest lead at 14, but not for long as Rose, with the slam, gets them back to within a dozen.
The Pacers are going to have to now gear down defensively. The Cavs are shooting a very high percentage. Indiana must get some stops.
Anderson fires from just inside the three-point line. Ilgauskas battling underneath. And another Indiana foul. In addition to everything else, Cleveland is controlling the boards, partly because they shot such a high percentage in the first quarter. There weren't many defensive rebounds to be had for Larry Bird's team.
Rick Smits has a hard time blocking out and holding position and keeping Ilgauskas out because he can't hold position with his feet. His feet are so sore and tender that it's hard for him to really plant and hold the base.
What I like what Mike Fratello has done here also is Ilgauskas is playing so well. He's riding it out with him. He's letting him play, even though he might get a little tired right now. Go to the guy who's hot. He can come back later with Sean Kemp, but this young kid is playing with such great confidence. There's another offensive rebound.
But an offensive foul is called on Ilgauskas, negating the basket. So take away that offensive rebound, but just to back up your point, officially he has 4 off the offensive glass.
And interestingly enough, on the season, Cleveland, one of the poor offensive rebounding teams in the league. They're 27th out of 29 teams, so offensive rebounding, not one of their fortes.
Brevin Knight back in, guarding Best. And a whistle away from the ball.
Now, Smits went to post up on the box. Potapico was able to get him off so easily. He had Smits way out on the lane. Smits got to be able to get down in there and hold his position if he wants to be an effective post-up player in this game.
Potapenko's first. Best at 5'11", guarded by the 5'10" Brevin Knight. And hold on once again. Derek Anderson picks up the foul. That's number 1 on him.
You know, Fratello took his team away for a 3-day mini camp. He took them down to Louisville, which is where Derek Anderson was from. They thought there would be a lot of distractions for Derek, but he handled himself well being at home.
Anderson slaps it away. It comes toward us, out of bounds. Pacers will keep it.
Nice hands, Bob.
You do what you can, Zeke.
That was a broadcaster who made a play where he's had the ball spilled all over his notes before and be in a panic mode. That's why he did that, Isaiah. Don't give him too much credit.
Jalen Rose backing in to the left hand and got it.
The versatility of Jalen Rose being able to go inside and outside, posting up smaller players, taking bigger defenders off the dribble. Exceptional offensive player and a great passer also.
Point guard for the most part at Michigan at 6'8". They have Jackson and they have Best, so he only occasionally plays the point for Larry Bird.
Growing up, his idol was George Gervin. He has a big poster of George Gervin in his locker.
Illegal defense is called here on the Pacers. Cavs ball from the side. They lead by 11. 8:22 to play in the half.
See, one of the matchups we did not see the other day either was Brevin Knight against Travis Best. He was always in the game against Mark Jackson. Now he's playing against a guy equal size, so he will not be posted.
Potapenko recovering it. Brevin Knight dishes to Anderson, improvising and missing. Loose ball scooped up by Cedric Henderson. Cleveland back with an 11-point advantage. Two of the better defensive teams in the league. Quick pace in this first half. And a foul on Davis. Number 1 on Antonio. Kemp slithers between 2 defenders and is fouled before the shot.
With this group that Mike Fratello has on the floor, Sean Kemp will be their primary option. Ilgauskas is resting. Wesley Person is sitting. So Brevin Knight is going to look to go to Sean Kemp either with a little post up or maybe screen roll.
2 on Antonio Davis. Kemp, meanwhile, has only 2 points in this first half. Here he is. And he'll have a chance to increase his total as he'll come to the line. On our sister network, CNBC, later tonight, it's the Olympic show hosted by Dan Hicks, and it features Doug Collins talking about the still memorable and controversial 1972 Olympic basketball gold medal game between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. Still a bitter pill, huh, Doug?
It is a bitter pill. More importantly, what was more bitter than that was when Isaiah was really cracking on my shooting form yesterday in our production meeting. So Isaiah did not sleep well last night, just so you know that.
Well, I worry about your elbow, Doug. It was sticking out.
No worries about Kemp's form there as he drills them both. Doug, you made the free throws you had to make in Munich. They should have won the game if the officials didn't give the Soviet Union about a half dozen additional chances in the last 3 seconds. Kemp managed to tie Smits up, and they'll jump it.
That was a big no call because that would have been Sean Kemp's 3rd foul.
Huge no call. Kemp at 6'10", Smits at 7'4". Smits can't elevate very much these days, not that he was ever the league's greatest leaper. Derek McKee has it. Draws a double team, looks for help. Travis Best spinning into the lane. Nice move, but couldn't finish it. And now Smits reaching in, fouls Kemp.
A little frustration starting to seep in with the Pacers right now. Cleveland has them frustrated.
You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Deuce baskets for them. They got wide open transition baskets. They're missing everything by little bits and pieces. There's no spacing on the fast break. They're in a rush to convert. They're not getting set on their shots. Cleveland has totally taken them out of their rhythm and is starting to frustrate them. The first half of Thursday's game, they shot 68%. Now they're only shooting 38%. They haven't attempted a free throw as of yet, Doug. And that's big because when you look at Reggie Miller, he's a guy that lives and dies on the free throw line. And he's capable of getting to the free throw line 9 to 10 times in a quarter.
If Cleveland wins today, they wrest the home court advantage away from Indiana. Games 3 and 4 would be at Gund Arena, a 5th game if necessary back here. This first round is very perilous for the higher seeds. Just a single game difference in terms of home court, best 3 out of 5. And in fact, the 6 has beaten the 3 8 different times under this format.
Bob, I've always felt a playoff series didn't start until a team loses the home court advantage. That's when it gets heated.
Both of these teams have been victimized. Your Chicago Bulls in '89 over Cleveland, a 6-over-3. And just a couple of years ago, the Pacers, as the 3, lost to the 6-seeded Hawks in the first round. Rick Smits.
Last 4 minutes, last 5 minutes of this half will be critical. This is where the Cavs lost the game in game 1 with a big spurt by the Pacers. They need to really suck it up here and execute.
Potapenko to Kemp, who puts it back to a 15-point lead.
Sean Kemp is getting such great position underneath. As he penetrated down the lane, Sean Kemp gave Dale Davis a little nudge in the back that freed him open.
Smits turns and misses over Potapenko. Kemp has it. As you said, Zeke, both in transition and in the half-court game, the Pacers have had a lot of good looks that they've just been unable to convert. And now Best fouls Knight.
Now let's watch Kemp as he moves into position. Now as he gets Dale Davis out of position and the penetration comes down alone, look at his arm as he shoves Davis out of the way so he can get the easy layup. He understands how to play in the paint. He's big and physical, and he doesn't mind using his strength.
What you also see is anytime Rick Smits gets matched up against one of the big guys from Cleveland, they're trying to attack him with dribble penetration. Twice it's been Patapinke who has made plays for the other bigger players along the baseline. They did not do that in the first half. In fact, Cleveland in game 1 had 13 turnovers by their big people.
So, Doug, we watched Sean Kemp a couple of years ago carry that Seattle team into the finals against Chicago. It'd be interesting to see if he can take this Cavalier team and do the same thing with it.
Jackson into the lane, but the ball squirts out of his hand, recovered by Smits. And again, no luck. A third try. Dale Davis gets it done. Brevin Knight quickly back. What a contrast to the Cavalier teams of the last few years, which consciously tried to milk the shot clock and slow everything down. Potapenko got it from Knight, and Smits got a piece of it. Miller recovers. Good defensive play by Smits. Touch pass inside to Dale Davis. And a foul. The second shot will not count. Take the basket away from Jalen Rose.
See, Bob, the energy is there for Indiana. They're doing everything right. However, they just can't convert because they have too much energy. There's too much inside of them right now.
Smits made a very good play here. It looked like Patapinko had him beat on the baseline. He recovered and blocked the shot. So nice play there by Rick Smits as he got back into the play defensively. I think it's a real critical time right now too. Sean Kemp has got to stay out of foul trouble. As this game gets heated around the basket, he's got to keep his composure. Sometimes you've got to give him the 2 points rather than take the foul.
Speaking of composure, Doug, you would think that the young Cavalier team would be the team that's becoming unraveled. However, when I look at this Pacer team that's very experienced right now, they have to calm themselves down and not get too carried away with their emotions.
Dale Davis, only a 46% free throw shooter. Worst percentage of anybody in the league, who attempted as many as 150 for the year. Makes 1 of 2.
In talking to Dale Davis yesterday, he said he has no problems making the free throws in practice. He just has a hard time in the game.
That's what they all say. That's what all the bad free throw shooters say. Ilgauskas is a very good free throw shooter, especially for a big man. The question now is whether he's coming to the line. Perhaps they're trying to decide whether the basket counts and it should be a three-point play, or whether he gets 2 free throws here and the basket doesn't count.
No continuation. The foul on the floor. It'll be 2 shots for Ilgauskas.
And Smits picks up his 3rd foul. And takes a seat with 4:01 to play in the half. Coming up next on NBC, game 2 of the doubleheader. Boy, what a game Tim Duncan had against the Suns in game 1. Spurs and Suns with San Antonio up 1-0 coming up next on NBC. The snapper, Steve Jones, along with Bill Walton and Tom Hammond to call that one. Cleveland by 15. Jalen Rose in a crowd, banks it in. Rose has given the Pacers a lift off the bench. He scored 8. Ilgauskas.
What a feed by Brevin Knight. Put it right on his shooting hand, read it, led him right to the layup.
They have really gone to that high screen and roll and stretched out the Pacer defense. They love to trap everything. The Cavaliers have great floor spacing, and Knight is finding the open man.
Antonio Davis drives by Kemp.
That's a very smart decision by Davis. Knowing that Kemp is in foul trouble, put it on the floor and drive at him. Make him make a decision if he's going to give you the basket or foul you.
Kemp drives at the other end, slips, recovers, and scores.
I think he got away with a travel call there, but he plays with so much intensity and energy that it's hard for the officials sometimes to see.
After a slow start, Kemp now has 10. Rose the turnaround.
That's what you love about Jalen Rose. He's a very tough competitor. He will not concede.
Brevin Knight penetrates, then finds Kemp. Left hand, contact, a charge on Kemp. And that is his third. And Jack Neese getting a little hot after the Cavaliers dispute the call, chases them away, saying, another word or two, I'll tee up here. Third foul on Kemp, that could be key. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Shawn Kemp, as he drives to the basket, and we see this right here, right there, his foot is inside the dotted line. That should be a block. That's a critical third foul on Shawn Kemp instead of 2 free throws. And Shawn Kemp will let Jack Neese know afterwards, like, look at that foot where it is. That should have been a blocking call. Jack Neese says, nope, that's your third foul. You got to sit down. That could be real critical as we go on in this game.
I remember when that rule was put in last year, Doug, Kevin McHale and McHale was the one who really thought about painting the floor area down there. And we walked over on a Saturday, and Rod Thorne showed him how to put the marks down on the floor so the officials could better see it.
Well, they want guys to be able to go to the basket. They want them to challenge shots, and they don't want guys flopping around the basket anymore.
Jalen Rose with a tough drive, and the shot just popped out. It's the first one he's missed. He had hit his first 5 in this first half.
Once again, they're going to go screen roll here.
Potapenko spins into the lane with the hook. Knocked out of bounds by Indiana.
Mike Fratello has a play here now against the shot clock. Watch for Potapenko to shoot right down the gap and look for the quick score.
2 seconds to shoot. Potapenko forces it up, air ball, and thus the 24-second violation.
Now the last minute 40 is extremely important for the Cavaliers. Can they hold on and keep doing what they're doing? The Pacers right now got to make a run and go into the half with some type of confidence. Bird told us yesterday that he wants his team to finish off the quarters.
Pacers once trailed by 17. If they could get it to single digits, it would give them a lift. Antonio Davis, and give the assist to Mark Jackson. In the whole history of the NBA, these are the names with more career assists than Mark Jackson. John Stockton, Magic Johnson, Oscar Robertson, and Isaiah Thomas hanging out with some big names.
That's the heavy crew up there.
Person misses in the lane, but Potapenko retains it for Cleveland.
Great play by Potapenko. Reset, use a little of this clock.
On the 24, Potapenko to Ilgauskas.
How many times have we seen that today? Potapenko putting the ball on the floor and making a play. Real key here today for this team.
21 now for Ilgauskas. Jalen Rose dishes it back to Dale Davis.
You know, Reggie Miller has to get involved in this basketball game. Right now he has 5 points. Chris Mullin hasn't scored yet. And they are the 2 guys who led him in scoring Thursday night.
Game clock overlapping the shot clock by a second or 2. Brevin Knight with the floater. Dale Davis has it. 3 seconds to get a shot off. Jackson. Didn't miss it by much. What a half for the Cavs, and what a half for Ilgauskas. He hit 8 of 9 from the floor. He also had 7 rebounds to go with.
Game 1, when Brevin Knight was in foul trouble and out of the game, Mark Jackson was a plus 25. Here today, Brevin Knight has stayed in the game. He's a plus 10, and Jackson is a minus 3. Brevin Knight, Doug, has to stay out for them for Cleveland to be successful.
And Dale Davis hits the turnaround. In contrast to his poor free throw shooting, he almost never takes a field goal attempt that's outside his range, and he hits 55% from the floor.
Well, Indiana wants to go right at Kemp right now. They want to get him in foul trouble to get him out of the game.
To back up the point about Davis, he's 6 of 6 from the floor this afternoon. Ilgauskas threw it away. Henderson tried to save it, and as he flipped it back in, it hit the official in the back.
Now remember, Cleveland is a young team. They're going to have to take this emotional surge. The Pacers are going to try to come out, get this crowd into the game in this first 5 or 6 minutes. Poise will be the definitive word here right now for Cleveland.
A chance to get within 7, or maybe 6 if they hit a 3. There it is.
See, that's the experience of the Pacers speaking. They understood going into the half that they had to come out and play extremely well the first 3 minutes of the third quarter.
Cleveland ball.
Now what Cleveland has to stay away from is getting stagnant and standing. They had such great ball movement and penetration. They've got to continue to do that.
And Kemp is hammered. He'll come to the line, and just in the nick of time from the Cavs' perspective, their once 17-point lead is down to 6.
You want Mark Jackson to make shots against you. He measures it, lets it go. Nothing but the bottom of the net. And Mark Jackson lets his fans know here, we're coming back.
Doug, in playing against Mark Jackson, he was always a guy that would step up and make the big shot, whether it be from the three-point line or driving down, hitting a little floater. Mark Jackson is a very intelligent basketball player. In fact, if you can take Mark Jackson's mind and put it into Travis Best's body, you'd have the best point guard in the league today.
And maybe add a few inches, since Best is only 5'11", although you proved you don't have to be much more than that to get the job done. Miller, the head fake, but he misses the jumper.
It really is about how mentally smart you are. It really has nothing to do with the size.
Henderson.
What I really like here is Cleveland has come right back out and they're running. Brevin Knight pushing the ball up. They're not getting conservative. They're not getting tentative. Keep the pressure on Indiana.
What Brevin Knight did that was so successful is he penetrated and he drew the defense to him.
Smits from Jackson, got it. Of course, Isaiah, if you were completely right about size having nothing to do with it and it being all brains, there'd be a lot of guys in pickup games at MIT who'd wind up in the NBA.
I'm talking about PhD basketball.
Here's Kemp. Out of the corner, Person misses the 3. Jackson spins around Knight but lost it. Cleveland ball.
See, Knight faked Jackson as if he was going to go left, and then he jumped back and forced Jackson to have to spin and made him consequently get off balance and throw that ball away. You know, when you're a point guard, it's really about chemistry. Every action requires a reaction. Wherever you take that ball to, people have to react.
Mullen couldn't react quickly enough to keep it from going out of bounds. Cav ball. They lead it by 8. Ilgauskas baseline. And a flat-footed rebound to Dale Davis. Jackson backing Knight down. And a whistle.
Illegal defense. Ilgauskas, you've got to aggressively pursue the double team. And he went about halfway. He was trying to half it between Rick Smits and Mark Jackson. Got caught in that illegal area, but you've got to aggressively pursue the double team.
Each team has been called for an illegal defense once, so the next time it'll be a technical.
Mark Jackson is too strong. When he starts backing Brevin Knight down, you got to come help him.
Miller got it, +1.
John Kemp has picked up his 4th foul.
This is what hurt Cleveland in game 1. The tight curls to get into the lane. Reggie, a little deeper. He takes it to the basket. Now remember, the controversial foul that Sean Kemp got late in the half that was number 3. This is number 4. Now he has to sit. That's why that foul was such an important call.
So that was the game plan coming out into the 3rd quarter, is to get Sean Kemp off the floor. Now with Sean Kemp being off the floor, you really have no experience that's out there, and now the Pacers can exert their will on the game.
3-point play by Miller brings them to within 5. They once trailed by 17. Person from Knight. Can't answer. Rebound Smits.
See, it's too much weight backing Brevin Knight down. You got to come get help.
For 3, it's Mullen. But it's long. Jackson has it. And Smits will try. Can't cut it to 3. Dale Davis keeps it alive. Mullen. Knight hawking him. Smits from 20, way short. And Henderson has it. So the Cavaliers withstand that trip down the floor for the Pacers. Knight all the way. Then dishes it back outside to Person. Brevin Knight was open but missed from the side. And Mullen is fouled coming out of the pack.
The difference right now to start this second half is the fact that Indiana is playing much better defense. On the other hand, Indiana's offensive production is better, so Cleveland is not getting an opportunity to run. It's becoming a half-court game. That favors the Pacers if that trend continues the rest of this ball game.
You got to get Reggie Miller involved right here. He has to become more aggressive.
The foul on Brevin Knight was his first. Here is Miller. Potapenko has board position on Smits, who takes a tumble but no call.
So Mike Fratello wants to keep them running. Don't get into a half-court game.
Ilgauskas. Potapenko and now Henderson. Ilgauskas' tip isn't there. Henderson recovers it. Person moves inside the line and drills the 2.
That was a great show and go by Wesley Person. He didn't get seduced by the 3-point shot. He had the defender dead. Reggie Miller was running at him, gave him the pump fake, took the extra bounce to improve his position.
Cavs improved their lead to 7. Jackson cuts it to 4. And the shimmy. Another Mark Jackson signature. The behind-the-back pass and the shimmy. Those are his calling cards. Potapenko with the hook.
Technical foul, taunting of Potapenko. So you got to do things here now wisely, Isaiah. You can't allow yourself the emotion to take over. This crowd, which is one of the best crowds in the NBA.
But that's what experience is all about, Doug. You know, you have Reggie Miller who's coming down. He's trying to bait the Cavaliers to get him off. He says something to Potapenko on the slide to get him out of his game. Potapenko responds, and the referee catches Potapenko for taunting. You know, when you experience ball club, you try to pull out all the tricks on the young guys to get them out of their game and to get them out of their rhythm.
Either Potapenko responded in English or the refs are bilingual. One way or the other, they got him for taunting. And Mullen, best free throw shooter in the league at 94%.
Reggie Miller and Mark Jackson have stepped up their play in the second half. Reggie Miller has become much more aggressive, getting into the lane. Brevin Knight is daring Mark Jackson to make outside shots. Mark Jackson, being the experienced, savvy veteran, is saying, okay, you want to try me, young fella? Here I am.
And in recognition of this look inside the game, Miller Brewing Company will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. One of Larry Bird's assistants is Dick Harder, former assistant to Jack Ramsey, Chuck Daly, Pat Riley, briefly the head coach himself of the Charlotte Hornets. He usually handles the defense. Wonder what adjustments he made at halftime. Miller, baseline fadeaway. Across the basket, no good, but Dale Davis tips it to Mullen. Jackson, Smits, and they're within 3. They have never led. They once trailed by 17.
Smits is an excellent medium-range jump shooter, and what happens is when that big guy goes to give help, he finds the open area. Mark Jackson knows right where he is.
What a great pass from Knight to Ilgauskas. And then an unnecessary foul because the basket could not be prevented.
You have 2 quarterbacks out there, Mark Jackson and Brevin Knight, that are making. Watch the patience here of Brevin Knight. Watch the zip. Bam, there it is. Right into a shot. Doesn't even have to turn around, just takes him right into a shot.
The Cleveland has found something here, though, offensively. That high screen roll, Brevin Knight is coming off. He's getting the Pacer defense strung out. And as the big man is trying to get back out of there, Rick Smith is having to try to play 2 people. And Brevin Knight has found Ilgauskas now 3 times for dunks on that same play.
Smits picked up his 4th foul. Ilgauskas missing the free throw, has 23 points and 10 rebounds in this game. Davis from Miller slings it back out to Mullen. Miller, a lunger, no good. Out of bounds and touched last by Cleveland.
See, Indiana is playing at such a fury right now that they're passing up good shots, trying to get closer to the basket. Chris Mullen and Reggie Miller had good shots, improved their position to get closer to the basket, which consequently made them force it and rush it.
Miller on the inbound, goes to the left hand with a pretty hoop.
That was a beautiful pass by Chris Mullen, too. He allowed Reggie Miller to almost get to the other side of the lane before he delivered the crisp bounce pass.
Knight tried to get it to Potapenko in the paint, and a foul is called.
Now watch Reggie Miller on this out-of-bounds curl. He keeps going, and at the last moment, Chris Mullen finds him, and then the beautiful left-hand over-the-shoulder shot.
Antonio Davis, just in off the Pacer bench, is nailed with that foul, his 3rd.
He and Potapenko are battling down there. You talked about Dick Harder earlier. Dick Harder, the defensive specialist for the Indiana Pacers, believes in physical play, and he wants the 2 Davis boys to really put it on the Cleveland Cavaliers down there in the low post.
Ilgauskas, a fadeaway, 25 points. Oh, wow.
How about the poise of this young guy? I mean, he had no place to go, sort of shook him and faded away.
7'3", 260, and plays with tremendous finesse. Antonio Davis had a good look off the Jackson pass.
You know what's interesting? Mike Patella told me yesterday, he goes, Antonio Davis is shooting about 70% against us on those little medium-range jump shots. Normally, he doesn't shoot that high percentage.
Potapenko's pass is picked off by Miller. A 3 ties it. Jackson.
Oh,
underneath,
nice.
Beautifully to Dale Davis.
Jackson. That was beautiful. He lift the defender off in the middle and hit Dale Davis creeping up on the baseline with a pretty no-look.
Look what happens. You're going to see Mark Jackson back him in, and here comes Potapenko with a double team. This man now has to play 2 people. As he steps up to guard him, Mark Jackson with the great pass and the dunk. That's what happens with the problems of double teaming and a great point guard who can see the entire floor.
The Cavalier lead is now down to 1. They've played the last 5 minutes and 10 seconds without Shawn Kemp. Do you bring him back?
I think you keep him out of the game. You still have the lead. You want him to have 2 fouls going into the 4th quarter. Survive this little flurry. Have him back for the last 12 minutes.
You mean 2 fouls before he fouls out?
I'm sorry,
he has 4 now.
Yes, yes.
Watch the battle for post position between Ilgauskas and Davis underneath. It's a war down there for position.
Brevin Knight exits, replaced by another rookie, Derek Anderson. This is Anderson out of Kentucky with the ball.
See, I think what's happening now, Mike Fratello is bringing in Derek Anderson so he doesn't have to double team. And if then Larry Bird comes back with best, he'll bring Brevin Knight in to match up against him.
Ilgauskas spinning baseline. Hold on.
Shot clock violation.
See, this is the mark of a young team. You can't afford to have those type of mental lapses right now with the shot clock running down on you. They didn't know the shot clock. Ilgauskas didn't know how much time he had. He thought he had a little bit more time. You can't make those mistakes right now.
The Pacers, who have never led, could go in front with a basket here. Miller for three, and it's short. It line drives to Mullen, though. And he'll try it. Indiana has the lead.
How about Mark Jackson?
Mullen's first basket of the afternoon, and what a time for it. He was 8 of 9, including 4 threes in game one. He hadn't scored from the floor until just now in this game. Loose ball, Indiana's got it. Here comes Miller, and Person fouls him.
You can already see Mike Fratello says, I can't keep Brevin Knight off the floor. 35 seconds off the floor. He is back into the game. He needs him to direct this team. And Isaiah, what has happened in this third quarter? The Pacers have geared down their defense. More importantly, they've made it a half-court game. Cleveland is not allowed to run, and with that, the Pacers have taken advantage of that.
Yeah, Fratello is complaining right now because he thought Chris Mullen kicked that basketball, and that should have been a violation. But when the momentum is going your way, everything tends to fall right for you.
Jackson deals it to Antonio Davis. And that little mid-range jump shot that Mike Fratello has been complaining about. It wasn't clean, popped out, fell back through. But he's been killing the Cavs with that.
But the offensive production of Indiana in this third quarter, they're shooting 58%. What that has done is that means Cleveland is taking the ball out of the basket. Everything is a half court, and Indiana has locked in. Look at the difference in the shooting. 11 for 19, 5 for 12. The Pacers have just overwhelmed them with their defense and their offensive production in this quarter, and the crowd is alive in Market Square.
You know, Doug, they say defense wins championships, as you just said, but I always believed as an offensive player that you got to be able to score, because at the end of the game, the team with the most points win.
There is a truism of sports. Potapenko puts 2 points on the board for Cleveland.
When you're a coach and you come out of a timeout, the one thing you'd like to be able to do is sort of get this crowd out with good execution, and the Cavs were able to do that. They've now got Knight on Miller. They've changed up the matchup.
Reggie with a 9-inch height advantage there. Mullen misses the three out of the corner. Not his day in terms of shooting. Person pulls up, but can't nail the triple at the other end. Out of bounds off the Cavs. Pacer ball. They lead 67-65. 1:08 to play in the third. Still no Sean Kemp.
Again, they're going back to the post up here with Reggie Miller. I don't think you rotate up off Mullen, though. I think you have to stay with him.
See, Mark Jackson is feeling that he has an advantage on Wesley Person because he can get into the lane against him and use his body.
That's a move he frequently uses, that little half hook.
If it's a tough shot to block, it's a tough shot to challenge.
Potapenko. Antonio Davis got a piece of the ball, but also evidently a piece of Vitale. And that's 4 on Antonio Davis.
These are critical free throws now. In game one, in the first half, Potapenko had 2 free throws down 9. He missed them both, and Indiana went on a surge at the end of the first half. He needs to knock these free throws in. These are difference makers when you're trying to thwart a rally.
with the 4 fouls. Antonio Davis out. Derek McKee back in. Mike Fratello has used only 7 players in this game. It's often said that you shorten your bench in the playoffs. That's pretty short, only 7.
Well, Bob Sura has not played today, and we have not seen Danny Ferry, who really has been suffering because of the three-point line being moved back this season.
Jackson again. That little hook again, no good, and Ilgauskas clears it. Now the Cavs can tie. Speaking of Danny Ferry, his minutes have been cut by more than half between last year and this. Averaged 32 minutes a game, regulars minutes a year ago, down to 15 this year. 5 on the 24. Knight trying to lay it off to Ilgauskas. Ball out of bounds to the Pacers with 3.5 seconds to play in this third quarter. McKee gets it back to Jackson, who hoists it from half court. But what a third quarter for Indiana as they turn an 11-point deficit into a 2-point lead. And we're back after these words from your local station. You're watching the NBA on NBC. Level competition, so congratulations to all those kids. The Cavaliers led by 17 at one point in the first half, by 11 at the half. They trail by 2 now as we start the fourth. Travis Best on Derek Anderson, who takes him into the lane. The ball shoved back into his face. Larry Bird thought he traveled. It's out of bounds off the Pacers.
One of the things in that third quarter, Cleveland turned the ball over 5 times. It led to 10 points. In the first half, only 6 turnovers. Mike Fratello said that was one of the real keys in the first half run there for Cleveland and why they had the lead. Keep our eye on turnovers. Cleveland leads the league in turnovers this season.
Cleveland starts the fourth quarter with Sean Kemp still on the bench. Potapenko muscling inside, but he's stripped of the ball, and McKee has it.
So Potapenko has a problem underneath because he always brings the basketball below his waist. As a guard, I always believed that if a big man had the ball below his chest, that was my basketball, my territory. That was vulture territory.
Miller trying to lean in and get the foul, and he doesn't. Here's what's on NBC tomorrow night. From Hallmark Entertainment, a motion picture event, Merlin, Sam Neill, Isabella Rossellini, Miranda Richardson, Martin Short in the cast. The world premiere of Merlin tomorrow on NBC.
Sean Kemp has checked back into the game. Pacers Pacers up by 3, make it 4 now. He set out 9.5 minutes. And again, we point to his problems with fouls all season long. He led the league in disqualifications with 15 this season.
And Doug, during that period of time, Indiana has totally exerted its will on this basketball game. Now, can Cleveland wrestle it back and regain their confidence?
Granted 3 shots for being fouled while shooting a 3. Miller converts them all. Kemp back in. Backing into the lane, trying to make his presence felt immediately, and he does.
See, he'll be very physical down there against Derek McKee. He doesn't feel that Derek McKee is strong enough to keep him out of the lane, and he'll be very physical with him.
Pacers lead by 3. Derek McKee can't make it 5, but the tip is there. Dale Davis.
Ilgauskas had to come out and challenge the shot, which left Davis underneath for a free tap-in.
Dale Davis has been huge today. He has 17. Contact between Davis and Knight, and the foul is on the Pacers. Davis.
Now you watch Kemp battle for position. He'll use his strength. He gains his balance, and watch as he backs him down and just takes a basket right here.
Knight looking toward Fratello on the bench, who barks out the play to him.
Larry Bird would love to get some quality minutes from Travis Best right now to get his confidence back for this playoff run.
They get it to Kemp, who fights his way through a crowd and will come to the free throw line.
The power of Sean Kemp once again. You see the front in the post. Jalen Rose is late getting there to give help, and the whirling dervish by Sean Kemp as he draws the foul.
The foul was on Derek McKee, who not too long ago knocked Kemp unconscious with an elbow in a regular season game.
Now you see Kemp has come back into the basketball game, and what he's quickly been able to do for the Cleveland Cavaliers is establish some type of presence out there for the Cavaliers, some type of will.
Well, it was a half-court game in the third quarter. He's their best half-court player. He was sitting. They really missed that.
He's their most competitive player also.
Jalen Rose, 8 on the 24. Crossover dribble. Miller, 2 seconds to shoot. Reggie will, and he'll hit it. Pointer increases the lead to 6.
Mike Fratello wanted an offensive foul. He thought that Reggie Miller lowered his shoulder. It was a no call. Very indicative of the same play last night where Nick Van Exel hit the big 3 against Portland. Let's see if he lowers his shoulder and gets away with one. Very close, but he regathers himself, looks at the 3, knocks it in.
Who off their 29-point win in game 1 trailed throughout the first half before finally overhauling and overtaking the Cavaliers in the third quarter. They lead now by 6 with just under 9.5 minutes to play in the fourth.
Look how deep Sean Kemp has him underneath the basket.
And he goes to work immediately to bring the Cavs back to within 4.
Can't let him get that deep underneath. McKee has to be able to push him out further.
18 for Kemp. Dale Davis, a little bit outside his range, and that's the first field goal attempt he has missed today after hitting his first 8.
Watch Kemp as he seals McKee. Make sure you want to get that defender on your back. Now he has him on his back, takes a step in, seals him, and just a power move up over him. Put McKee up under the basket so he can't jump up and challenge the shot.
They're going to go back to the same play. If it works, make them stop it.
Here is Kemp, a little bit further from the basket, goes up with a little hook.
That's good coaching there. Make them stop it. Make them make an adjustment. If they don't, keep going to it.
There's no way McKee could guard Sean Kemp underneath.
Kemp now has 20. Miller into the lane, might have traveled and gotten away with it. And now there's contact scrambling out to the loose ball. A Cleveland foul.
See, the strength that Sean Kemp has in his legs and in his upper body, McKee is not able to hold him off. He's giving ground. He's waiting for help. Kemp reads it, and he's patient, goes up and puts it in the hole again.
Kemp playing with 4 fouls, which caused him to sit out most of the third quarter. The last foul was on Brevin Knight, his second. This is Knight with the ball after the Pacers turn it over. Kemp has all 8 points for the Cavaliers in this quarter. Cleveland looking to tie and looking for Kemp as well, who is thrown down by McKee in the lane, and McKee picks up the foul.
Now, part of Indiana's philosophy of guarding the post has always been play your own in the post, and Derek McKee's locked in now to a struggle with Sean Kemp. You see him fighting him every inch of the way and just sort of throws him down. So the Cleveland Cavaliers will maintain possession with a new shot clock, 7:47 remaining.
Antonio Davis in, McKee with his 4th foul out. Rick Smits has been on the bench for a long stretch now for the Pacers. Kemp, double team. And the foul is on Kemp. No, a 3-second violation. I take it back. And boy, is Mike Fratello glad I was wrong. That would have been 5 on Kemp.
You know, Sean Kemp plays with such intensity and energy around the basket that he's very difficult to contain down there because he's moving constantly.
Jalen Rose. The runner over Henderson is good. Gives the Pacers just a bit of breathing room at 79-75.
Jalen Rose, the guy who during the season gets more minutes in the fourth quarter than Chris Mullin, so this is not an aberration.
Play is halted as Kemp received the pass, and time after time, again, as you both said, until the Pacers prove they can stop it, they just go back into the post for Kemp. Tomorrow, a full day of NBA basketball starting at noon Eastern with Showtime. It's a triple header. New York, Miami, Portland and the Lakers, and then we'll be in Chicago, where the Nets took the Bulls to overtime last night in a surprising game one, very nearly upset them. The Bulls escaped with the victory. Game 2 at the United Center tomorrow night. Game 3 of our triple header on NBC. Kemp hit the first, missed the second. Pacers by 3.
Now the important thing is Cleveland is in the penalty now the rest of the way. So if they go to the basket, they attack that rim, they will shoot free throws from here on in.
Man has come to Indianapolis to visit the Pacers. Underneath, he backs in McKee and powers over Dale Davis. All this is in the fourth quarter when the Cavaliers really need him to establish his will. Over McKee again. Sean Kemp has picked up his numbers throughout the course of the regular season, but when you come down to playoff time, he's a big-time performer.
Zeke, the last time he got double-teamed, so if he's going to get double-teamed, he's going to have to find the open man. He got a 3-second violation, so now he's going to have to possibly be a passer.
Rick Smits has just checked back in after missing the last 10.5 minutes. He went out midway through the third quarter after committing his 4th foul. Here's Smits back in.
Kemp is being very aggressive with Davis underneath. He has to be careful.
Jackson hits from 20. He has a dozen. The Pacers lead by 5. Kemp, a whistle before the shot.
Kemp locked Davis' arm right there. Davis stuck it underneath, and Kemp locked it and wheeled around him and almost broke it off. Now Davis sticks his arm underneath, and watch Kemp as he locks his arm. Now I'm going to wheel the same way, and if you don't get it out of there, I'll break it.
Ooh.
That's called a forearm bar in the World Wrestling Federation.
But that's the intensity of the playoffs. You take no prisoners down there, and what Kemp has given the Cavaliers right now is confidence. He's given them the type of aggressiveness that they need to have going down the stretch the last 6 minutes of this game.
Davis picks up his 5th foul and almost loses a limb in the process.
Let's watch matchups now. They have Brevin Knight on Reggie Miller. Are they going to go into post to Reggie Miller to try to take advantage of that matchup?
Here is Smits. Ilgauskas commits the foul. Swatted the ball away, but contact with the body. Good one here at Market Square, and still to come, game 2 of the Spurs and the Suns. That 4-5 matchup figured to be a good one. Off game 1, that's just what it will be. David Robinson and Jason Kidd are pictured, but it was Duncan that the Spurs went to down the stretch time after time, and he delivered. He either made the basket or was fouled seemingly every time he touched it in crunch time. And the Spurs take a 1-0 lead into game 2.
How often do we see come fourth quarter in playoff games the difference be at the free throw line? Sean Kemp has gotten his team to the line. Now Rick Smits. No easy layups. You're going to have to earn them from the line from here on in.
Got them both. Pacers by 5. Still no one other than Kemp has scored in this fourth quarter for Cleveland. Brevin Knight, and that's still true. A true brick from 20 feet.
Now Indiana has made the decision to double team Kemp in the post. Now Brevin Knight and their guards are going to have to step up and make big shots from here on out.
Rose from Miller finds Smits, and Indiana increases its lead to 7.
Great execution. They're trying to hide Brevin Knight so he doesn't have to play against Mark Jackson, but he's going to have to. You got to pull the trigger and you got to make that shot. The indecision cost him.
For those of you just joining us, the Pacers, prior to the start of the playoffs, every one of them, we're looking at Brevin Knight of the Cavs now, but every one of the Pacers shaved his head. It looks better on some than on others. And Smits was the last one to come completely around. He entered game 1 with just a brush cut, kind of a Roger Maris early 60s kind of crew cut look, but he went to the complete cue ball before game 2. Here is Kemp. He draws double coverage, loses the ball. Indiana has it. He thought he was fouled. Sprinting ahead is Rose for the slam. Cleveland immediately asked for time, suddenly down by 9. 4:58 to play in the 4th. You're watching
on a double team, then he gets out of the double team quickly and he runs Sean Kemp right into the 2 big people. Now with all this going on, nobody protects the backcourt. Brevin Knight gets sucked in here and nobody gets back with Jalen Rose. So it's bad enough that you lose the offensive possession, then you give away the breakaway dunk.
Smits proud of the work he's done in this 4th quarter, if not proud of the new haircut. Now Brevin Knight, his job is mostly to set others up, but still he shot just 2 of 9 from the floor in the first 2 games. Might the rookie be feeling the pressure?
But at the point guard position, you got to be able to score in a contest like this. It's going to be a low-scoring game. You're going to get shots. You got to be able to step up and make those shots.
Smits just picked up his 5th. It is Anderson, their best free throw shooter, at the line right now. He leads them both throughout a game and in the 4th quarter. He hits the first of 2. And now brings them to within 7.
Well, after a 29-point first quarter, Cleveland now has scored 29 points in the 2nd half.
Dick Harder's halftime adjustments. The pass inside to Miller. And it rattles out, depriving Jackson of the assist.
See, Reggie Miller has a hard time posting Brevin Knight up, so he has to back cut him. He can't back down Brevin Knight because he doesn't have the leg strength that Mark Jackson has. So Brevin Knight is able to get leverage up underneath Reggie Miller.
Started to say, Dick Harder's halftime adjustments accounting for the Cavaliers' diminished production or something else?
Well, I think what happened was when you look at this team, Indiana started playing with more force, and they've done a great job of just imposing their will this half. But there have been some subtle little adjustments. And with that, Indiana has executed it to perfection, and it's become a half-court game.
Anderson picks off the Pacer pass. Back come the Cavaliers. Down by 7 with 4 minutes left.
You got to get Ilgauskas involved right now. He had such a great first half for you, and he's kind of fell asleep here in the 4th quarter.
Here he is. A little jumper blocked away by Antonio Davis, who arrived on the double.
There might be a shot clock violation here also.
Yeah, could be. They had to think about it for a second, but the shot clock did run out. Never heard the horn, but it showed 0 after the block.
Well, here's those adjustments you're talking about. Weak side help. Antonio Davis, the long arm of the law with that one. Not only did he block the shot, but the shot clock wound down.
Jackson backing in. Then dishing to Miller. Short with the 3. Out of bounds to Cleveland. Still plenty of time for Mike Fratello's team to make a run here.
Well, after the great first quarter by Wesley Person, he has gotten really quiet. He only has 10 for the game after 8 in the first quarter. Ilgauskas with a huge first quarter. He has gotten quiet. It's really been Sean Kemp the entire fourth quarter trying to keep his team into this game.
And Kemp finds himself at the line after the Jalen Rose foul. Mike Fratello has had his teams ushered out of the playoffs by Larry Bird before, twice in the late 80s. When Fratello had excellent Hawk teams, Bird's Celtics eliminated them from the playoffs, most memorably 10 years ago when they had the incredible Game 7 at Boston Garden, where Bird and Dominique Wilkins had a memorable fourth quarter duel. I think Larry made 9 of 10 from the floor in that fourth quarter, some of them impossible to believe.
And Larry is trying to impose the same type of wisdom into this this Pacer team in terms of believing that they can win a championship, how to step up in the fourth quarter.
Well, huge misses by Sean Kemp.
Absolutely. You got a chance to cut it to 5. You don't convert. And now, I think it's a double foul in the post now against Ilgauskas and Smits. Both of them arm wrestling with each other. They're going to call a double foul on this.
So Smits and Ilgauskas each pick up a foul, and in Smits' case, that ends his afternoon.
I think this move with Smits fouling out right now kind of helps the Pacers, because right now they have a 7-point lead and they need defense more than offense, and Davis is a much better defender than Smits.
Ilgauskas now has no margin of error. He has 5 fouls. Dale Davis. Ilgauskas and Knight were both there. Is it the giant or the little man? It's Knight on the foul.
I think Davis may have turned an ankle right there as he went to plant. Brevin Knight got up underneath him and he wasn't able to jump, and I think he turned the ankle a little bit. Let's see if this affects his free throw shooting. It may help him.
I was going to say, it'd be hard to tell. He's a 46% free throw shooter, made 1 of 2 earlier today.
Well, you start at the top of the list with Chris Mullin, and all the way down at the bottom is Dale Davis. So he might be the guy that you have to take some hard fouls against and put him to the line in this last 2 minutes and 39 seconds.
Just as Kemp did at the other end, Davis misses them both. Anderson lost it on the drive.
Turnovers have really been a critical thing for Cleveland. Only 5 in the first half, 10 now in the second half.
Jalen Rose, Kemp over on the double. Cross-court pass to Miller. Reggie, short. Brevin Knight out of there with the ball, and Cleveland still has a slim chance. 2 minutes to play. Ilgauskas tried to get it to Kemp, knocked away and stolen by Davis.
Another turnover. You just got to execute late, Bob, in games. You just got to get a shot. And Cleveland, the last 2 possessions, have 2 turnovers and 2 missed free throws.
Jalen Rose. No-look pass inside to Davis, who couldn't find the handle, and now he's tied up.
How about Brevin Knight fighting with Davis? I believe that's ours.
On the jump ball, Knight is at a 13-inch disadvantage. The Cavaliers have not scored from the field in more than 7 minutes. Can't come back that way. Somehow it's Cleveland with the ball. And an easy 2 as Knight gets it ahead to Henderson.
See, Brevin Knight did a great thing there. He read the eyes of the jumper, knew that he was going to get the tip, and he stole it. He stepped right in front of the Pacer player. That was a key play.
Good pass, though, from Jackson to Miller, and Reggie is fouled. And Ilgauskas is done.
The jumper got away with one there.
Ilgauskas still standing alongside the lane, but finally he concedes. that he's finished.
21-point first half, only 4 in the second half. So he got rather quiet when the game got into the half court.
He had 10 rebounds to go with his 25 points. More than half of them came in the first quarter, as a matter of fact. Had a huge first quarter with 13.
Well, we documented that. We said that he's a big first quarter player, and he got off to a great start, but he sort of got lost in the second half.
And finally, we see Danny Ferry for the first time.
Now be aware that when Danny Ferry comes into the game, he loves to screen on the ball anytime he can. Normally he's played by a bigger player. He likes to screen and pop and shoot the three-point shot. And Cleveland needs some threes now. Looks like they're going to be down 7 here with about 1:17 to play.
Miller now makes it a 3-possession game. A 7-point lead.
Watch a quick play here for Ferry. See him stepping back to shoot the 3 here.
It's Kemp spinning toward the hoop. And an Indiana foul. Antonio Davis. And he's fouled out.
As Kemp goes down and he seals, watch as Antonio Davis extends his forearm and the referee catches him. It's a foul, you can't do that. But it's because of the activity and the energy of Kemp down low.
Kemp missed them both last time. Needs them both here to give the Cavs any kind of chance. Ferry, after being in for only 1 possession, is taken out.
You look at the sweat pouring off Kemp's head and his body. He's all lathered up. He's working hard for a victory.
Converts them both. A minute to play. Jalen Rose in some trouble, looking for help. Off to Miller. Now McKee tries to lob it underneath, but Dale Davis couldn't hold on to it. Cleveland's got a chance. Brevin Knight looking for Person, who wasn't set up for the 3 and now asks for a timeout.
9 seconds to go now. You don't necessarily need a 3. There's an opportunity for a 2-for-1 possession here. You can get a quick 2, play good defense, get the ball back, still be down only 3. But if the 3 presents it and it's a good one, you'd like to take it.
Ferry is back in now for Cleveland. The inbound goes to Kemp. Ferry has it, almost lost it, gets it to Knight. Knight penetrates, dishes to Kemp, who lays it in.
That's going to be almost a 6-second differential, so they don't want to run over and foul here. I'm a little surprised. I don't think Mike Fratello wanted that.
Look at Mike.
You don't want to foul there.
Look at Mike. You say, no, didn't we just talk about that? What was the timeout for? What did we say in the huddle?
Well, that's the difference between youth and experience. This is a learning situation now for the Cavaliers. 2 young players go over and commit a foul, don't have playoff experience, poor clock management on their part.
And it was a rookie, Cedric Henderson, who committed the foul. But Rose misses.
Now Cleveland will call a timeout here, make or miss.
If they do, it's their last timeout. Lucked out on the second one as he rattles it in.
Henderson committed a foul that they didn't want, so they got to make sure they know exactly what they want to do here because they have no timeouts remaining.
See, I think you got to go to Kemp right away into the post and put it on the floor and get to the foul line.
Well, that's what they were trying to do. It'll be Ferry for 3. It could have been huge, but he didn't hit it. And on the rebound, Henderson commits another foul. Big third quarter for the Pacers, turned the game around. And now, barring a miracle, the Cavs will go home down 0-2.
Foul trouble has played a problem in both of these games for Cleveland. In game 1, Brevin Knight only 6 minutes in the first half. They faced a 21-point deficit at halftime. Today, Sean Kemp says for 9.5 minutes, they lose an 11-point halftime lead and lose the game. Foul trouble has been critical in these first 2 games when you talk about Cleveland.
They need a 3, a steal, and another one. Here's Person. Doesn't get the first half of it. Dale Davis has the rebound. They should have fouled him right away. Now it's in Miller's hands.
See, in the playoffs, you never concede, you never give up.
The Pacers do what they had to do. Although today they did it the hard way. They win them both at home.
Just poised by your team. At one point, trailed by 17, down by 11 at the half, but just chipped away and came back and controlled the game.
But one of the strong points of this basketball team is we don't allow ourselves to get too high or too low. We're a veteran basketball team. We executed, we chipped away, and came up with a great win.
You got everybody involved, including Jalen Rose. Big game by Jalen.
Phenomenal play, especially when we were struggling early on. Jalen went in the post and made things happen. Just great effort.
And, you know, the ball head thing, I think, is going to catch on. I really do. No. Back to Bob.
All right, Ahmad, thanks. It's happened before in a best-of-5 series, although not often. For Ahmad Rashad, Doug Collins, and Isaiah Thomas, I'm Bob Costas. We're going to send you now to get from Indianapolis.